Hello, amazing, wonderful people. This is Milena. This week, I would like to talk about something seemingly small that does affect most of our relationships, how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about others. If we become aware of it and we make some conscious tweaks in that respect, we can totally transform our relationships with others. What I'm talking about is criticizing. From our perspective, criticizing others, and also how to respond to criticism when it is directed toward us. When I say criticism, what I mean is express disapproval of something or someone. Nobody likes to be criticized. I don't, and I know you don't either. It doesn't feel good. But one of the beliefs that keeps criticism in place in our system, in our society, in our relationships with others, is the fact that we believe, at least to a degree, that criticism is necessary for growth. It is necessary for things to be moving in a positive direction, especially when it comes to education, to teaching, to development, to growth, when it comes to businesses. When somebody criticizes us, there are two things that we can do that are extremely powerful and are very, very, very effective. One of the first things that happens when somebody criticizes us is we feel it in our emotional body. We feel it energetically. It could be sadness, it could be anger, it could be feeling bad about ourselves, it could be having some sort of negative feelings toward the person who we feel is criticizing us. It is really, really helpful to transform that energy, to process it. And I've talked about this exercise that I learned from Inelia Benz many, many years ago, and it's free for everybody to use. Now, the next step is, especially when that criticism comes uninvitedly, one of the things that we can say is, oh, that's an interesting perspective. I'll look into it. Or you don't even have to say the second sentence. Why is it effective? Because we validate the opinion of the other person. They've already expressed it, but we don't engage with it in any way further. You didn't say this is right. You didn't say this is wrong. You didn't say I will accept it. You didn't say I will not accept it. What you did is you told the other person in a way that you heard them that that's a perspective that you acknowledged, and that's it. Because most of the time when we express ourselves, that's all we want. And you can still do whatever the heck you want. You don't have to take it personally and all of that. But if you felt the sting, then that reaction is yours. And do the steps to process that energy so that it doesn't eat you from the inside or control any further actions. That, of course, will have a negative effect, because when we act from that negative standpoint, the results are always very much the same. Another thing, when somebody makes a comment that we interpret as criticism, is we can ask, did you intend to hurt me? Was your intention to hurt me with that comment? And most of the time, they will say absolutely no. So when they say no, accept it as a no and move on. Don't go into the argument and discussion, but you did hurt me and you shouldn't say things that way, and go into a useless fight about all of this. Now, when we are the one criticizing and somebody maybe gives us a signal, or we get a sense that somebody felt criticized, it's very helpful for us to ask ourselves, why did I make that comment? Am I trying to help the person? Am I trying to hurt the person? And sometimes it might be because we're triggered by something, and then we say, oops, and then we apologize. Or maybe we want to show that we're more knowledgeable about something. Or maybe we just want to feel better about ourselves. If our intention was or is to help the person, then we can ask ourselves, is there a more positive way for me to do this? What is the result that I want to achieve? And very often we will start getting specific words or actions or ideas about what we can do in order to achieve that result, because criticism is never really it. It's the same thing with our kids. We can test it when we criticize them for constantly not doing what we've told them to do, or when we switch it around and we inspire them, empower them, and we congratulate them and encourage them for every single tiny step they have taken toward what we want them to do. The difference is night and day. Now, the thing is that when we criticize, it's something that happens on autopilot, subconsciously. We rarely ever really do it consciously, and we're rarely ever aware of the result that we want to achieve and the reason why we're doing it before we've made the comment. Criticism happens as a defense mechanism, as a trigger, as something that we've learned as defense behavior, and it doesn't really lead to any type of positive result. But if we tweak our own response and we consciously respond to when we're being criticized, and when we are aware of our own intent and the result that we're seeking, when we criticize, even if it's after the fact, it can totally transform our relationships. It can have such a huge impact on how we feel, on our everyday interactions, and what we create in our everyday lives. And if you need help working that out within yourself, or how to respond to others, if you feel like you're constantly being criticized, like I did for many years of my life, book a session at askmilena.com. Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter as well as the channel, and click on the bell so that you can get notified of all future videos. They come out on Friday. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.